There are moments in politics where something crosses from partisan into something deeper. This was one of them. When Donald Trump shared a video depicting Barack Obama and Michelle Obama as monkeys, the reaction across the comedy world wasn't subtle, it wasn't coded, it wasn't let's debate policy, it was immediate condemnation. On the Spears and Steinberg podcast, Aries Spears didn't mince words. For him, this wasn't about interpretation. The monkey trope isn't abstract, it's historically loaded. For centuries, black people have been compared to apes as a way to justify segregation, violence, and dehumanization. Spears' central question was simple: why monkeys?
Now, I want to hit something that Mark said, but before I do that, I want to ask you this. Well, let me hit what Mark said first, because for me, it's a short thing. I agree with everything you said. There's no way. I think his ego and his narcissism, he ain't calling no press conference, even though, and even if he did, I still don't think we buy it. But at least make the effort. And the fact that he would have to make that effort, that's something his ego just won't allow. And I think the main important part would be not just to say, yo, I apologize to the African-American community, but specifically the Obamas.
Yeah.
No way.
No, he has to apologize to the Obamas.
He ain't doing that.
Because he didn't, and not only this is the other part. I don't care. You know, he has to apologize to the country because the Democrats aren't winning the midterm with that. Just that alone will keep them from winning the
The Democrats or the Republicans?
The Republicans. The Republicans
Right.
won't win the midterm now. And even if he apologizes, it isn't going to happen. It isn't going to happen because the disappointment of that and being, now everybody who supports Trump, including myself, who supported him on this election, now we're all racist because of this.
Well, that brings me to my second question. Knowing what you know now, from the time he ran a second term all the way till today, including this, if you had it to do over again, would you vote for him?
I have to see what he does with this today. I have to see what he does today.
But what if he didn't?
If he doesn't do anything, it's real tough for me, and I'm going to tell you why.
Mama, hold up on that plate.
Hold the plate. This is why. I still have really hard feelings toward the Democratic Party, which I am a registered Democrat, and I've said this before.
Okay, so let me be clear. Everything you just said, as far as how disgusting and demeaning this is to black people and the Obamas, even with that, even if he didn't do what we know he's not going to do, which is to come out and give a press conference, you still have a if you might vote for him?
No. It's not an if I would vote for him. It's just I wouldn't vote, period. I couldn't vote for the party because they were installed.
So you're saying you wouldn't vote for him or Kamala?
No.
You just would be out of it?
I'd be out.
Mama, put the plate under the heat lamp. I'm not sure.
On In Godfrey We Trust, host Godfrey, alongside Dante Nero, Akeem Woods, and Vishnu Varka, dismissed the staff mistake defense entirely. The monkey imagery was at the end of the clip. That implies someone edited it in or watched it through. Either way, it was an accidental background noise.
Even to talk about it, it's like when they defended the monkey thing.
Well, yeah, because they said, he's like, oh, you know, one of our employees or some bullshit, they posted it and they didn't watch the whole video and blah, 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 blah. And he took it down. He wouldn't apologize because he's racist. Ugh. It was ridiculous.
Then
also,
they were like, well, why didn't he apologize?
There's no monkeys in Lion King besides fucking Rafiki.
And he said, I never saw it. I don't know what you're talking about.
Then apologize. Then say, oh,
But my thing is, why are you fucking with them? They're not running against you. Well, they're minding their business. Yeah. But the fact that the Obamas didn't even answer, they're like, it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
Is that all you got? Monkey shit? When you guys are the ones related to monkeys?
Enough for them.
Also, the fact that fucking Obama lives rent-free in this dude's head is crazy.
And then there's D.L. Hughley, who approached it from a different angle. He applied what he called the HR test. If you worked at a regular office job and emailed around a video comparing black colleagues to monkeys, how long would you keep your position? Probably not long. Yet the presidency, the highest office in the country, seems to operate under a lower standard.
So, like many of you, I saw the post that Trump I posted to this Truth Social, and I would say there's nothing beneath this man at all. But how a man who actually looks like an orange baboon to depict somebody else as an ape is hilarious to me. There's nothing beneath this man. He's a vile human being. And everything he's accused of, I'm sure he did it. He just doesn't have the moral standing to not do it. Roseanne Barr lost her show for saying exactly the same thing about Valerie Jarrett. The only place in America, the only job in America where you could say something so this overtly racist and still keep it is the President of the United States of America. What does it say about the man who occupies the highest office in the land held to the lowest standard? And black Trump supporters, that's why nobody can, the stuff y'all won't tolerate.
Across these podcasts, there was agreement on one thing. This wasn't dark humor. This wasn't edgy satire. And importantly, Trump isn't a comedian. But the conversation didn't stop at Trump. A lot of the energy was directed towards commentators, particularly black commentators who defended or downplayed the post. Spears was especially harsh, accusing them of excusing behavior that demeans people who look like them.
I have to speak to a few of the black bootlickers out there. To Officer Tatum, to Terrence Williams, to John Paul King, to Andre Williams, to the Hodge twins, to West Scott America. And I tagged you niggas in my post. You know, y'all should be ashamed of your selves. To any black Trump supporters who still scream blacks for Trumps, you are the worst. And now it's so clear to me why the white people in abundance that stand up for you and support you in your comments, because masses love their slaves. And that's exactly what you are. Well, to still defend this man and go blacks for Trumps, knowing he depicts the first black president of the United States and the first black female, the first black lady as monkeys, and you niggas still stand behind this man?
Did you at least see the whole video?
No.
What do I need to see besides woo hoo ha?
No, the whole video was about something else.
Everybody, like all the Democrats and stuff, they're all different animals.
Right, I saw that part. So why not put the Trumps, why not put the Obama's heads on other animals?
Yeah.
Why monkeys?
I know, right?
Hughley went even further, arguing that there comes a point where support becomes incompatible with basic dignity.
Imagine something that is so overtly racist that Tim Mushmouth Scott is obliged to say something. Tim Scott said this is the most racist thing he's ever seen come out of this administration. I beg to differ, but the fact that the dude who wanted to be the Republican nominee for president so bad that he pretended to like chicks was compelled to say something. I think it's impossible to be both a human being and a Trump supporter. I cannot imagine a world where all the things you have seen this man do and cause and participate in, and still call yourself a Christian, let alone a human, a decent person. I think that they can't exist in the same space. But you're so racist that Mushmouth says it all.
That part of the debate is uncomfortable. It moves from criticizing a politician to questioning the judgment of voters and supporters. But it reflects something deeper: frustration. For many black comedians, this isn't abstract political theater. The monkey trope is personal, it's generational, it's historical. Another theme that came up repeatedly was Trump's fixation on Obama. On Godfrey's show, the phrase rent-free came up more than once.
Like, he literally lives rent-free. It's like, bro, he hasn't been president in forever. And you can't stop thinking about this nigga.
Trump voter apologize.
That's my word.
What's this?
I am a registered Republican.
Oh, watch this.
My dad was the president of American Pipeliners Association, so I came by it rather naturally. Voted for the president, supported him, but I really want to apologize. I mean, I'm looking at this awful picture of the Obamas. What an embarrassment to our country. All this man does is tell lies. He is not worthy of the presidency. He takes bribes blatantly, and now he's being a racist. And I just want to apologize to everybody in the country for supporting this rotten man.
John, did you vote for him?
For rape.
But nigga, he's been racist since the,
right there.
He's
They're
been
covering
racist
them up
since
as we
like
speak.
the 80s and 90s, since the
But
Central
I'm
Park
saying-
Five,
but
since
here's
the
my
birther
thing.
movement.
Even-
He's always been
look,
racist.
Every president we've ever had is racist. So
Yeah, period.
But with second, you put a guy who raped somebody in the White House. You don't give a fuck. Like, you just don't give a fuck. 34 felonies and you can hear them twist themselves in pretzels trying to explain why it's liberal judges. It would happen in New York. He didn't this, he didn't that. 26 women who said that he sexually assaulted them, accused him of that.
They just
the Epstein
didn't think
files,
it was gonna affect them, is what it was. They didn't think it was gonna affect them. They didn't think it was gonna affect them the way it's affecting them. And now that he's so blatant with it, now they're like, oh man, he's doing the things that he used to do, but in the shadows, he's doing them in front of us.
What's striking about all of this is how unified the condemnation was across comedians who don't always agree on politics. The imagery wasn't subtle, it wasn't coded, it wasn't ambiguous. The disagreement was about whether it was deliberate or careless, not about whether it was racist. And that's the larger point. Comedy has always pushed boundaries. Comedians offend each other all the time, but the difference here, as Spears emphasized, is context. When someone holds political power, especially the presidency, their speech carries weight beyond the punchline. This incident isn't just about one post, it's about standards. It's about whether accountability applies equally across professions. And it's about how supporters reconcile policy preferences with character concerns. For some, this was another data point in a long pattern, stretching back to the Central Park 5 ads and the birther movement. For others, it may have been the first time the line felt impossible to ignore. What's clear is that the comedy world, particularly black comedians, weren't willing to let it slide quietly. Not as a joke, not as a mistake, not as just politics. Because sometimes the punchline isn't funny.